In this lecture, we'll be examining factors that influence program participation. The After School Alliance tells us that 18% of U.S. children are in an after-school program. That equates to 10.2 million children, and is a large number. But there are another 19.4 million children that would participate if a program were available. This represents 40% of U.S. children and represents a large gap in meeting the need for out-of-school time care. In California, the percentage of children participating is greater at nearly 25%, representing 1.7 million children. These children attend programs at 4,500 low-income schools across the state. A large portion, almost 38% of students at these schools, are English language learners, and these schools represent almost half, or 46%, of all California schools. In fact, 73% of elementary and middle schools in California that are considered low income have an after-school program. So, who are the majority of these low-income after-school participants in California? An overwhelming majority of the children that live in poverty in California are Hispanic. These 2.8 million Hispanic children represent nearly 9 times the number of either Black or Asian children and over 4 times the number of white children living in poverty. And a large portion of these children are also challenged with learning English. Given the large need of these children and the positive effects associated with after-school programs, one would expect that participation rates would be high among groups that need the programs the most. In fact, for Latino youth in particular, participation has been associated with academic achievement, ethnic identity, and self-esteem. However, research has also found that participation rates are not necessarily consistent for Latino youth. So why is it that participation among those who need it the most is so varied? In the Simpkins reading for the week, they looked at one subgroup of Latino children to understand what factors might be at play. They examined the impact of several key factors: socioeconomic status, or SES, ethnicity, culture, and immigration. Before we continue, take a moment to apply Brofenbrenner's theory. Which one of the following systems do the 4 sociocultural factors fit? Micro, meso, exo, macro, or chrono? So Simpkins and her colleagues looked at these 4 factors to understand predictors of participation for Mexican American youth. Which one of the following was found to be the most predictive of youth participation in organized after-school activities, and why? SES, ethnicity, culture, or immigration? In fact, it was SES that was found to be the only consistent predictor of youth participation in organized activities. Look in your reading to find out how SES was predictive. Were low SES youth more or less likely to participate, and why? Ethnicity had mixed results due to the variability in the extent to which Mexican American youth experienced ethnic discrimination or even identified with their ethnicity. The impact of culture was also found to be mixed. The role of the family, gender role traditionality, and the role of religion predicted how adolescent Mexican American youth spent their free time and whether or not they participated at all. In addition, they also found that immigration had mixed findings, with both high and low participation being attributed to immigration status. Factors that influenced participation were familiarity, appearance with the organized activities, beliefs about the activities, and even stressors related to recent immigration. On your own, or with your Learning Pod group, take some time to carefully reflect on how each of the macro factors influenced Mexican American youth participation in organized after-school activities, and what the recommendations were for program developers. For your reference, this chart has been provided for you in a link on the Week 3 module. You do not need to turn it in, but it will help frame your thinking for Tab 5 of your ePortfolio. Finally, what are your personal experiences and thoughts about the degree to which these macro factors influence program participation among youth? If you're comfortable, share these experiences with your Learning Pod Hangouts this week.